Hi mga bestie! Welcome back to my channel! Did you miss me? Cause I don't. Chareg! Hello, you know who it is. The one, the only detective, Martin Rules, and welcome back to my channel. And yes, daylight tayo nag-shoot today. Ewan ko ba? Oo. Ang weird. Ang weird mag-shoot ng umaga kasi ang daming distraction and noise. Pero it's okay. I'm here and I'm going to tell you a story. Kaya ako naghahanap kayo ng kasama during your working hours, late night studies, or kachikahan lang. Ako na yon. You're in the right place. So feel free to subscribe, like, and comment or share this video para naman lumaganap na ang ating dull propaganda. By the way, just like the rest of my videos, this episode contains murder and violence, so feel free to skip this episode if you're not in the right headspace. So, yun lang. Trigger warning. Alam ko tayong mga Filipino sobrang family-centric and I'm using air quotes here kasi hindi ko naman nilalahat. Though, yun yung kinalakihan natin and parang mas uunahin natin yung kaligayahan nila kaysa sa atin. You know what I mean? Pero hanggang saan ang kaya mong gawin para sa pamilya mo? Oh, ganun. Kasi di ba merong fulfilling na pakiramdam when you prioritize them. Pero yun nga, babalik pa rin tayo sa question na hanggang saan? Would you give everything for them? Would you die for them? Or would you kill for them? And dito iikot yung story natin dahil back in 1969, someone threatened to kill people and ordered their deaths because naargabyado daw yung pamilya niya. Dahil yung karelasyon ng kapatid niyang babae decided to end things kasi yung asawa nun discovered the affair. Ooh, the tea is piping hot, honey! Also, I'm going to throw a bunch of names. Make sure to listen carefully or you can take notes para hindi kayo malito. Okay? So, merong 11 versions. Oo, ganun kadami. From witnesses and accused. So, isa-isahin natin. Okay, meron kasing shooting incident na naganap noong April 29, 1969, mga alas 9 ng gabi sa Elias Street, Santa Cruz, Manila, na ikinisawi ni na Benjamin Totoy Galang, Irineo Erning Navasca, and Sosimo Felarca. And merong 3 separate informations for murder that were filed sa Circuit Criminal Court for Manila noong May 27, 1969. And with this, sina Marlo Cañal, Alfredo Edwards, Janet Clemente, and Francisco Sevilla were charged na nag-conspired and confederated sa pamamaril kina Totoy, Erning, and Sosimo. Yung prosecution tried to establish the case by the testimonies of witnesses, and yung una is from Leonardo Flores. Ayon sa kanya, mga alas 8 daw ng gabi noong April 29, 1969, meron daw white Toyota car na merong 5 sakay ang nagpark sa harap ng bahay ni Dolores Hernandez in Elias Street, Santa Cruz, Manila. Yung sakay ng sasakyan ay sina Marlo Cañal, Francisco Sevilla, Alfredo Edwards, Janet Clemente, and Clarita Divina, na lumabas daw ng sasakyan at pumasok doon sa loob ng bahay ni Dolores Hernandez. Later that evening, nakita niya ulit yung grupo na lumabas ng bahay dahil itong witness ay nakatambay across the street sa tindahan ni Aling Anding, presumably drinking liquor with Totoy Galang. Yes, yung isa sa mga biktima na si Benjamin Totoy Galang. Meron pa silang kasama ni Romy Dalusog, isang Jimenez, and Toning Langis. Tinawag si Leonardo, yung witness, nang nagangalang Vicente Aliado na kasama ng grupo ni na Marlo Cañal. Tumawid si Leonardo and then talked to Clarita Divina. By the way, si Clarita Divina ay sister ni Janet Clemente. And yung pinagpaparkingan ng grupo ni na Marlo Cañal na bahay nung Dolores Hernandez were actually mother ni na Janet Clemente and Clarita Divina. Medyo daming names, daming characters, but bear with me, huwag kayo malito, mag-make sense din ito lahat later. Sabi ni Clarita dito kay Leonardo, yung asawa daw nung nagngangalang Junior Ipis named Chit was jealous of her and saying bad things about her. So habang nag-uusap itong sina Clarita and Leonardo, someone named Momoy arrived and bigla naman siyang kinumpronta ni Clarita saying, and I quote, "Why are your relatives like that?" End quote. Samantala, si Janet Clemente, who was standing with her three companions near the car, ang sabi kay Clarita, "Katak ka ng katak, sandali lang." Hey, go! Warla, warla yung magkapatid te. Anyway, pagkatapos, nakita ni Leonardo na itong si Janet pointing to Marlo Canyal and Alfredo Edwards sa mga bahay ng nagngangalang Juancho Rodrigo, Chit, Totoy, Romy, and the persons who were then standing at the street corner. I guess, magkakapit bahay itong mga ito, kaya it was easy for Janet to point out kay Marlo and Alfredo. Wala namang response sina Marlo and Alfredo, pero si Marlo, pumunta siya sa likod ng sasakyan and kinuha yung paper bag sa baggage compartment. And he placed it inside the car near the driver's seat. And itong si Leonardo, napansin niya yung handle ng long firearm protruding dun sa paper bag. Yung asawa ni Leonardo dumating and sinabihan siya na umuwi na and he left the group just like a masunurin na asawa. Pero nung mga 15 meters away pa lang siya, he heard a gunfire. Nilingon niya yung pinanggalingan ng putok and nakita niya na si Erning Navasca ay nakahandusay sa kalye near the white Toyota car. So, sa takot niya, nagtago siya sa likod ng poste and from there, nakita niya si Totoy Galang na nakikipag-agawan ng baril kay Alfredo Edwards. And then, nakarinig pa siya ng isang putok and Totoy Galang fell to the ground. At si Janet, who was standing near the wall, told Alfredo Edwards, and I quote, "Iyan pa ang isa dumarating," end quote. Referring to Sosimo Filarca, who was running towards the white Toyota car. Pagkatapos, Alfredo Edwards aimed at Sosimo Filarca and shot him. After this, nakita ni Leonardo na sinipa ni Marlo Canyal yung lifeless body ni Erning Navasca and shot it again with a long firearm. Pagkatapos, sumakay ng sasakyan si Marlo Canyal with Janet and their two companions and fired multiple shots sa bahay ni Juancho Rodrigo. Okay, ang sabi naman ng pangalawang witness na si Carlos Volantis, nagpapahinga daw siya sa loob ng bahay kubo na nakatayo sa corner ng Elias and Balaguer Street mga alas 8 ng gabi noong April 29, 1969 when a white car with 5 passengers arrived. And again, yung sakay ng sasakyan ay sina Clarita Divina, accused Marlo Canyal, Janet Clemente, Alfredo Edwards, and Francisco Sevilla. Unang lumabas daw ng sasakyan ay sina Clarita and Janet na pumasok sa bahay ni Dolores Hernandez aka Aling Loleng, aka their mother. Later, si Marlo Canyal naman yung bumaba na sasakyan, went behind the car, and may kinuha sa compartment. And after that, he placed it at the front seat. After a while, si Janet and Alfredo Edwards na galing sa loob ng bahay talked to Marlo Canyal. Katulad ni Leonardo, nakita rin ni Carlos na tinuturo ni Janet sa mga kasama niya yung bahay ni Juancho Rodrigo, Chit, Romy. Si Marlo Canyal thereafter moved around the car and went near the driver's seat. At this point, napansin niya si Totoy Galang and Erning Navasca walking towards the Toyota car na nakapark. Pagkatapos daw lumagpas ni Erning Navasca sa pinto ng sasakyan na nakapark, lumingon lang siya saglit and nakarinig na siya ng putok ng baril. Tumakbo siya sa bakuran ng katapat ng bahay nila Aling Loleng and lay flat on his stomach. Pagkatapos, nakita niya si Totoy Galang leaning on the right side ng white Toyota car na nakapark with his two hands and head inside the vehicle. And then, nakarinig ulit siya ng putok ng baril coming from the car. Tapos, si Totoy Galang fell face down. Lumabas na sasakyan si Alfredo Edwards and shot Totoy again. Si Janet, who was leaning against the wall, told Alfredo Edwards, ayun pa ang isa. Alfredo fired at somebody near the car and si Sosimo Filarca fell to the ground. And nakita niya si Marlo Canyal went around the car at nagpaputok sa bahay ni Juancho Rodrigo. At sabi ni Janet kay Marlo Canyal, Tama na darling, patay na. Nagpaputok pa ulit si Marlo a few more rounds of bullets. And after this, he returned to the car and sped off. So our next witness is si Romeo Dalusong, ang nagsalaysay naman nung nangyari nung gabi ng April 29, 1969. Ang sabi niya, nakatayo daw siya sa likod ng sasakyan na nakapark habang nanonood ng basketball at narinig niya si Janet saying, "That is Romeo." Pauwi na sana si Romeo nung nakasalubong niya si Totoy Galang and Erning Navasca. Pagkatapos nakarinig siya ng putok. And dahil dito, his body shut down and he dropped to his stomach. Nung sinubukan niyang gumalaw at tumayo, someone poked a gun at him, kaya he remained flat on the ground. So meron daw piece of wood kung saan siya nakalay flat, where he was able to pick it up and threw it at the car, hitting the rear mirror. Medyo naguluhan lang ako dun because, di ba dapat yung binato niya ng piece of wood ay yung tinutukan siya ng barel, hindi yung rear mirror ng car. However, because of this, he was able to stand and run dun sa mga drum. I'm assuming mga garbage drum na nasa sidewalk ng kalye. And dun siya nagtago behind it at mga 5 metro yung layo from the park na car. Habang nagtatago siya, Alfredo Edwards came out of the car and fired at him. Tapos, he saw Alfredo aiming his gun to Sosimo Felarca, who was running towards the car. And the next thing he knew, Sosimo was hit. Samantala, si Eduardo Meneses testified for the prosecution na nakipag-inuman daw siya kay Erning Navasca and a certain Ben sa Karapatan Street nung gabi nung April 29, 1969. Dumating daw si Totoy Galang and talked to Erning, pagkatapos the two left. And bumalik daw yung dalawa after a while, only to leave again. And sa tagal daw nung mga kainuman niya, he went out to look for them. And nakita niya si Erning Navasca sa Elias Street na nakatayo sa side nung white na car, talking to the driver. He decided to approach the car together with Sosimo Felarca. Pero nung malapit na sila sa sasakyan, somebody opened its door and fired a gun. Tumakbo siya at nagtago sa likod ng drum along the road. And he heard someone said, and I quote, "There, behind the drums, there is somebody in white." So, pinaputokan yung drum and it was said na yung person na nagpaputok ay si Francisco Sevilla. And he heard an unidentified woman's voice saying, "That's enough, let's go." Another witness named Rogelio Bonifacio, he said mga 3 o'clock in the afternoon noong April 27, 1969, nakita niya daw si Janet Clemente in Karapatan Street riding a white Toyota car with Marlo Canyal, Francisco Sevilla, and Alfredo Edwards. Tapos, lang tanong daw si Marlo kay Rogelio kung nasan si Totoy Galang. He gave the information na nasa racetrack daw ito. Then, they talked about Junior Ipis at yung asawa nito na si Chit. At ang pagkakarinig niya, ang sabi ni Janet, "Putang ina nila, inargabyado nila ang pamilya ko. Baka hindi sila tatagal." And then, si Florencio San Miguel, alias Junior Ipis, yes, yung asawa nung Chit at kalaguyo nung kapatid ni Janet na si Clarita Divina. I believe he also gave his testimonies and ang sabi niya yung motibo daw behind dun sa shooting incident ay dahil sa kanya. Oo. So, ayon dito kay Junior Ipis, for about 3 months, meron daw silang intimate relation ni Clarita. And then, yun nga, yung asawa niya na si Chit, discovered the affair, kaya itong si Junior Ipis decided to put an end on it. And then 4 days before the incident, si Janet and yung nanay nila na si Dolores Hernandez threatened Junior Ipis that if he would still continue living with his wife, they would kill him, his friends, and relatives. Which makes sense why Benjamin Totoy Galang, Irineo Erning Navasca, and Sosimo Felarca were murdered. Kasi mga friends sila nitong si Junior Ipis. Last and certainly not the least, si Jesus Valdez testified on the evening of April 25, 1969. Andun daw siya sa bahay niya with Totoy Galang, Ramon Hernandez, Romeo Dalusog, Hilario Gutalban, and Renato Tayag. Ayon kay Jesus, gusto daw ni Totoy Galang na mag-apologize si Ramon Hernandez sa kanya for having made ugly remarks for his sisters over the phone. By the way, si Ramon Hernandez ay pamangkin ni Dolores Hernandez, making him the cousin of Janet Clemente. Anyway, tumanggi na mag-sorry si Ramon at nagkaroon ng pagtatalo between the two. At sa sobrang galit ni Totoy Galang, sinampal niya si Ramon Hernandez na kaagad namang inawat ng mga witness. Si Romeo Dalusong, yung isa sa mga witnesses, sinamahan niya na lumabas si Ramon Hernandez at hinatid niya ito pa uwi. At hindi pa dyan nagtatapos, dahil sumunod si Totoy Galang at yung mga kasama nila nung gabi nung shooting sa Balagwer and Carapatan Street. So, sinalubong ni Anita, sister ni Dolores Hernandez, yung pamangkin niya na si Ramon, at nag-usap sila in Bicolano. And this triggered Totoy Galang, who don't understand the conversation. Ang sabi niya, and I quote, "Akala nyo kung sino kayo dito. Palabasin nyo ang mga lalaki nyo at harapin ako." End quote. Parang bet ko yun sa t-shirt. Palabasin nyo ang mga lalaki nyo at harapin ako. Period. Merch ko na yan, te. Magtungo naman tayo sa defense ng mga accused. First, si Alfredo Edwards at pinayagan siya to take the witness stand and he testified on the evening of April 29, 1969 na umattend daw sila ni Marlo Canyal ng birthday party ni Violeta Hernandez, little sister ni Janet. Pagkatapos daw nila magstay sa party for about an hour, they decided to attend the wake of a deceased relative of Janet. Yeah. Okay? Kaya sina Marlo Canyal, Alfredo Edwards, and Vicente Liadok boarded the car. And they were actually waiting for Janet na nagpapaalam sa nanay nito. At meron daw 6 na lalaki with guns approach the car. Yung isa opened the door on the right side and pulled Vicente Liadok. Habang yung isa naman hinatak si Marlo Canyal palabas ng sasakyan on the left side. Nung si Alfredo na yung hinahatak palabas ng sasakyan, he grabbed the man's .45 caliber gun at habang nakikipag-agawan siya ng baril, he was able to pull the trigger to save himself. Tinamaan yung lalaki and fell on the floor. Sabi ng mga witnesses habang pinapuputokan daw sila ng mga unknown na mga lalaki na ito, Alfredo was able to fire back. And he was able to do this gamit yung barel na naagaw niya from one of the men. Nung pasakay na daw siya ulit ng sasakyan, napansin niya na merong nagtatago sa likod ng drum kaya pinaputokan niya ito. Hindi niya rin daw napansin si Janet during the whole ordeal. Only when they were about to leave, he saw Janet at the backseat of the car. Girl! Isa pang weird moment ito dahil sobrang convenient naman for Janet na napaka-unbothered niya sa loob ng sasakyan as if walang mga nagpapaputok ng barel. Girl. Next is yung accused na si Marlo Canyal. Ang sabi niya, he was with Francisco Sevilla, Alfredo Edwards, and Janet Clemente noong April 27, 1969. Nag-usap daw si Janet and Rogelio Bonifacio pero hindi niya maalala kung ano yung topic ng conversation ng dalawa. And he also said na he attended the birthday party of Janet's little sister noong April 29, 1969. Pero yung unang destination daw nila ay sa bahay ng tita ni Janet dahil hindi niya daw alam at hindi rin alam ni Alfredo kung paano pumunta doon sa bahay nung nanay ni Janet. Kasama nila sa sasakyan yung kapatid ni Janet na si Clarita and eventually went to Janet's mother's house sa Elias Street. Nagstay daw sila for about an hour and decided to go to the wake of Janet Clemente's dead relative. Kaya pagkatapos ng party, si Marlo, Alfredo, and Vicente boarded the car. Si Marlo, umupo siya sa driver's seat. At pagkatapos sa gitna si Alfredo, and then sa right side ng front seat ay si Vicente. Habang nag-iintay daw sila kay Janet, a group of men who were armed approached the car and surrounded them. Yung isang lalaki daw opened the car at the left side kung saan nakaupo si Marlo. Hinawakan siya sa kwelyo at sinubukan siyang hatakan palabas ng sasakyan. Tinutukan siya ng baril sa ulo, sabay sabing, "Putang ina, mamamatay kayo ngayon." Sabi naman ni Marlo, "Maawa po kayo sa amin. Bisita lang kami dito." Acting ka dyan, te. And Marlo declared na meron siyang baril on his side. He then took it and fired first. Hindi na daw niya maalala kung ilang beses niya pinaputukan yung lalaki, at nung maubusan daw siya ng bala, he took a carbine from the baggage compartment of the car and fired it. This is at the same time na yung mga unknown men were shooting at them. Pero get this, ayon sa reports, walang gunshots yung sasakyan at wala rin sugatan sa grupo ni Marlo. So, girl. Anyway, sa cross-examination, inamin ni Marlo na yung both .45 caliber gun at carbine were unlicensed. At hindi niya rin daw kilala si Erning Navasca and Totoy Galang at wala siyang idea why would they gang up on them that night. After the incident, they left Elias Street, pumunta sila sa Makati and then sa Baguio, and eventually nagtago sa Tarlac. And then we have Francisco Sevilla na nag-testify for his defense. Ang sabi niya, hindi daw siya kasama sa grupo ni Marlo Cañal nung gabi ng April 29, 1969. Nasa repair shop daw siya sa Makati drinking with his friends. Nung nalaman daw niya na he was being implicated dun sa incident that took place sa Elias Street, sinubukan daw niyang kontakin agad yung certain Captain Santo Tomas from Manila Police Department, and when he failed to locate him, he went into hiding sa Nueva Ecija. Pagkatapos, nung nalaman niya na merong order na shoot to kill, sumuko siya sa mga polis noong May 22, 1969, and then inamin niya na he was with Janet and Marlo, pero nung April 27, that same year. At yun yung time na pumunta sila sa bahay nung kamag-anak ni Janet sa Dimasalang Street. At yung testimony ni Francisco was corroborated by Nestor Soriano na may-ari ng Sagitsit Motor Shop sa Makati, saying na nasa shop niya si Francisco from 3:30 to 9 p.m. in the evening of April 29, 1969. Lastly, si Vicente Aliadoc naman yung nag-testify nung gabi nung April 29, 1969. May birthday party daw sa bahay nila Dolores Hernandez at si Marlo Cañal and Alfredo Edwards yung mga bisita. And then after that, napag-usapan na they would pay their respects sa yumaong kamag-anak ni Janet. Kaya after the party, si Marlo and Alfredo lumabas ng bahay and they boarded the car. Umupo daw sa driver's seat si Marlo, sa gitna si Alfredo, at sa right side ng front seat ng car naman siya umupo, etong si Vicente. Habang nag-iintay daw sila kay Janet, who were supposed to go with them, a group of men approach the car. Yung dalawang lalaki na lumapit sa magkabilang pinto ng sasakyan ay sina Erning Navasca and Totoy Galang na tinutukan daw sila ng baril. At sabi ni Erning, and I quote, "Kung sino man ang may baril sa inyo dyan, lumabas at papatayin ko." End quote. Sabi naman ni Totoy, "Magdasal na kayo dahil wala kayong ligtas." At sagot naman daw ni Marlo, "Wala po, maawa po kayo sa amin. Hindi naman po kami bisita lang ho kami dito." Tapos, hinawakan daw ni Totoy yung t-shirt niya at hinatak siya palabas ng sasakyan. Nakalakad daw siya malapit sa kanal at nung nakatayo siya, tumakbo daw siya dun sa bahay ni Dolores Hernandez. And because of this, hindi niya daw nakita yung actual shooting ni Totoy and Erning. Samantala, yung huling akusado na si Janet Clemente did not take the witness stand. And on July 12, 1969, Judge Manuel Pamaran rendered judgment finding accused Marlo Cañal, Alfredo Edwards, guilty for killing Benjamin Galang, Irineo Navasca, and Zosimo Filarca. Sinintensyahan sila in each of the three cases to the supreme penalty of death, and to indemnify each set of heirs of the victims in the sum of 12,000 pesos, and to pay them 20,000 pesos by way of moral damages and cost. And as for Francisco Sevilla, he was acquitted for lack of sufficient evidence. Sabi ng korte, they consider the killing as qualified by the circumstance of evident premeditation. In addition, they found that the accused conspired and cooperated with one another in committing the crime. Yung mga akusado na si Marlo Cañal and Alfredo Edwards did admit of the slaying, pero they pleaded na self-defense yung actions na ginawa nila. Ayon naman sa korte, yung self-defense na sinasabi ng dalawa na ito was not adequately established dahil wala raw ni isa sa mga accused suffered any wounds, unlike na yung claim nila na pinaputukan sila ng mga lalaki. Pero yung, again, ayon sa reports, wala rin tama ng baril yung sasakyan nila. Samantala, during the investigation, yung police forensic experts found na yung mga kamay ng mga biktima were negative of gunpowder. Yung test din sa tama ng bala sa damit at katawan ng mga biktima were negative of powder burns, indicating that they must have been more than 1 yard away from their assailants. Again, comparing dun sa claims ng mga accused na sobrang lapit daw sa kanila ng mga armed men. Yung medical legal officers ng MPD also affirmed yung result ng examinations nila sa katawan ng mga biktima and the causes of their deaths. Now, after going through the evidence, the trial court said they find no sufficient proof to sustain the three appellants, which are Marlo Cañal, Alfredo Edwards, and Janet Clemente, guilty of premeditated murder. At based sa testimonies ng prosecution and defense witnesses during the trial, ganito daw ang nangyari, sabi ng korte. Si Janet and her sister Clarita arrive at their mother's house sa Elias Street in a white Toyota car, kasama sina Marlo Cañal and Alfredo Edwards para umattend ng birthday party. Pagkatapos ng party, lumabas ng bahay si Marlo, Alfredo, and Vicente at sumakay sa sasakyan na nakapark sa labas ng bahay. At may mga lalaking nagiinuman sa tindahan across the street. Yung ibang lalaki walk towards the car. Totoy Galang went to the left side of the vehicle kung saan nakaupo si Marlo, and si Ernie Galang naman went to the right side of the car. However, hindi nakalapit yung dalawa sa vehicle, much less talk to the occupants of the car, unlike yung claims ng mga accused. The court said Totoy and Erning were coming from opposite direction, and yung pag-approach nila were noticed by the trio na nakaupo sa loob ng sasakyan. And it was admitted na merong .45 caliber pistol si Marlo Cañal beside him, and certainly a man carries with him an unlicensed firearm, including a carbine, would not have allowed himself to become a sitting duck to any group of supposed armed men. And si Marlo and his group, who must have been accustomed to violent encounters, definitely have sensed the approaching men. So, bago pa man makaabot sa direction nila yung mga lalaki, Marlo must gotten out of the car and opened fire at Erning, who was within his direct view. It is clear from the trajectory path of wounds na tinamo ni Erning on his left chest, indicating that his assailant was at his front. At katulad sa investigation, yung absence ng gunpowder sa bullet holes shows na yung namaril ay more than 1 yard away when the wounds were inflicted. Pagkatapos bumagsak ni Erning face down and Marlo emptied his pistol, pumunta siya sa likod ng sasakyan and took the carbine at pinaputukan pa ng ilang beses si Erning, hitting his left preauricular region near sa cheekbone, and then tumagos yung bala sa right side ng neck niya. At yung direction ng wounds ni Erning indicates na yung bumaril sa kanya was overlooking the body of the victim. Samantala, si Alfredo Edwards naman was not able to fire at Totoy Galang at nakipag-agawan pa ng baril dito. Also, kung matatandaan nyo, the accused was seated sa gitna, sandwiched by Marlo and Vicente. In fact, Vicente Liadok had to get out of the car and run. At si Totoy Galang, who appears on the record to be an alert and aggressive person, must have tried to grab Alfredo's gun, kaya nagkaroon ng agawan ng barel. Nevertheless, Alfredo was able to get rid of Totoy and shot him. After firing more shots at Totoy, pinaputukan naman ni Alfredo si Sosimo, who was coming behind the vehicle. Ayon sa korte, yung nangyaring incident sa dalawang grupo appears to have been more of a chance encounter rather than a preconceived plan. They said Marlo, Alfredo, and Vicente were seated in front of the car, ready to leave when the victims arrived. At si Marlo and Alfredo did not anticipate any toward incident that night, considering the fact that hindi armed si Vicente, also si Alfredo daw ay ipit sa gitna, making him less to move. Then, yung testimony ni Rogelio Bonifacio, yung isa sa mga witnesses, if you remember, ang sabi niya, 2 days before the incident, nagtatanong daw si Marlo sa kanya kung nasan si Totoy Galang. Well, ayon sa korte, there was actually no record of the two, Marlo and Totoy knew each other, or kung meron man silang standing feud kaya nagkaroon ng shooting incident that night of April 29, 1969. Ayon pa sa kanila, yung sunod-sunod na pagbaril kay Totoy and Erning by Marlo and Alfredo was a mere reaction of the sight of the two men closing in on them. At yung hinaing naman ni Janet Clemente against kay Florencio San Miguel, aka alias Ipis, sa pakikipaghiwalay nito sa kapatid niya na si Clarita, did not prove anything, sabi ng korte. Assuming na she did threaten to kill Junior Ipis, his friends, and his relatives 4 days before the incident of April 29, 1969, or kung sinabi niya talaga yung quote-unquote baka hindi sila tatagal, these threats daw alone do not establish premeditation nor conspiracy among the accused to commit the crimes. Dahil for premeditation, it requires direct proof na planado yung krimen and that the accused clung to such determination to commit the offense. In fact, it has been held that even where there was actual plan to kill, if the killing resulted in the death of persons other than the intended victims, the circumstances of evident premeditation cannot be considered. Sabi ni former Justice Conrado V. Sanchez, since yung encounter that led to the killings was casual and not sought, there can be no premeditation. Dagdag pa niya, kung hindi daw in-approach ng tatlong victim yung sasakyan that night, no killing could have happened. Okay, another weird thing about this case is why are we blaming the victims? Oo, binaril na nga sila, pinatay na nga sila, ginaslight pa. Judge, ano to? Anyway, the court, through Mr. Justice Fernando, added that there was no evidence whatsoever has been presented to show na plinano ni Janet Clemente with Marlo Cañal and Alfredo Edwards ang pagpatay kay Totoy Galang, Erning Navasca, and Sosimo Felarca, or anybody for that matter, went to Elias Street on the evening of April 29, 1969 to carry out such a plan. Ang sabi, yung unlicensed gun alone does not establish any preconceived arrangement to kill anybody that particular night. At yung baril raw could have been there for various reasons, katulad na lang ng habit or precaution, not necessarily commit murder. At maaaring totoo rin daw na tinuro ni Janet kay Alfredo si Sosimo Felarca, who was behind the car of the accused at that time, para somehow, tulungan or i-warn yung friend niya. Which binaril din ni Alfredo si Sosimo Felarca a moments later. Pero considering daw the situation, yung statement ni Janet na ayan pa ang isa, padating, was obeyed by Alfredo as an order. Dahil raw hindi na kailangan ni Alfredo ng instigation or prodding from anybody to fire at anyone who would rush towards him. And since hindi nag-take ng stand si Janet, she claimed that she was deprived of her right to fair trial, that she was denied opportunity sa korte to present her evidence. Therefore, the decision under consideration as to her is a nullity. However, during the proceedings, she was properly represented by counsel de parte, and yung counsel niya cross-examined the prosecution witnesses. And like her other co-accused, she had every opportunity to present proof on her behalf. Yung court, however, considered abuse of superior strength to have aggravated the crime. Yung paggamit ng mga accused ng baril sa mga victims who were found unarmed was sign of superiority, which they took advantage to prevent any retaliation or defense from their adversaries. The court also said na yung claim ng mga accused na yung mga deceased daw were armed has not been fully substantiated. What has been proved is that Totoy Galang, Erning Navasca, and Sosimo Felarca never fired guns, and no such weapon were found with them. At kung saan yung decision ng korte is modified as follows. On ground of reasonable doubt, Janet Clemente has been acquitted of charges against her. Si Marlo Cañal found guilty of homicide by killing Erning Navasca, attended by the aggravating circumstance of abuse of superior strength, which is not offset by any mitigating circumstance. He was sentenced to the indeterminate penalty of 10 years and 1 day of prison mayor, as minimum to 17 years, 4 months, and 1 day, of reclusion temporal as maximum to indemnify the heirs of earning Nabasca in the sum of 12,000 pesos and pay them moral damages in the sum of 10,000 pesos with all the accessory penalties of the law. Samantala, si Alfredo Edwards naman, who caused the death of Totoy Galang and Sosimo Filarca, suddenly died 3 years after the incident. It was actually July 19, 1972 to be exact, at the National Penitentiary. His criminal liability for the wrongs he had committed is declared to have been legally extinguished. So that is the story of Janet Clemente, who was able to escape the prosecution. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. For me, sa sobrang dami ng detailed testimonies from the witnesses during the shooting, also sa investigation pa lang, it was proven na unarmed yung mga victims, na binaril sila in a distance dahil sa absence ng gunpowder. Parang agree tayo sa unang decision. Hey, keme! Pero seriously though, yung story or testimonies ng mga witnesses make sense. Kaya nag-lead up sa shooting dahil doon sa altercation ni Totoy Galang and Ramon Hernandez. Also doon sa issue ng junior APs at nung kapatid ni Janet na si Clarita. Parang medyo dahil sa mga issue na yun kaya nag-end up sa ganito. Compared sa bigla na lang namaril yung mga akusado dahil papalapit sa kanila yung dalawang lalaki. Diba? Parang hindi siya nag-make sense. Korte, ano to? However, hindi porket nagme-make sense yung story na yun yung totoong nangyari. Diba? So, at ang malinaw dito, which is a good thing, dahil yung mga namaril were tried and were charged. After this case, I have no idea what happened to Janet Clemente. Actually, I keep looking up kung anong updates sa kanya, wala ako makita. Ang alam ko lang, merong episode ng Magpakailanman sa GMA titled Nang Minsan Magdamot ang Langit, something, Janet Clemente story, chururut. Anyway, kayo naman, let me know your thoughts about this case. And kung meron kayong nalalaman na true crime na nangyari here sa Philippines na you want me to cover, let me know sa comment section below para mapag-usapan natin siya sa susunod na episode. So that's it for me today. Thank you so much for watching. As always, please keep safe and healthy and I'll see you on my next video. Bye!